Some of the movies he's been in, including Die Hard and Harry Potter, have been watched by millions. But Alan Rickman rarely sits down for interviews, preparing to let a host of characters do the talking for him. Now he's playing Louis XIV in a project that sees him act and direct. The film, which opens in April, had its Scottish premiere at the Glasgow Film Festival on Saturday. We'll hear from him in a moment, but first a look at A Little Chaos.
Walk with me.
In the end, we have only our instincts.
Her work encouraged me to see beauty.
Only some of us have that gift.
Under nature's eye, all roses may bloom, and although the elements may treat us cruelly, patience, care, and a little warmth from the sun are our best hope.
Alan Rickman, thanks for joining us on Scotland Tonight. Your film, A Little Chaos, on the face of it, it's about the development of a garden in 17th century France. It seems an unusual thing, but you've carried this project with you for a while. What was the appeal?
Good writing. You know, when you turn the pages of a very good script, subject matter it's not that it's secondary, but you know, it just proves that, you know, you can get interested in anything if it's well written enough. And that was the appeal.
You were the director and you acted in it. Now, it's your second directing project, but it's the first one you've directed and acted. You're a walk-on part of your first film, I believe, but this is the first one.
I didn't walk on. People think that, but I certainly didn't. It wasn't me.
IMDb have got that badly wrong then. But,
well, not for the first time.
But this is the first one you've directed and acted. Now, that must bring its own pressures.
Yeah, it was certainly not my choice, really. But you know, the pressures would be economic. Hey, you get in there and do that because it won't cost us anything.
But it's taken you a year and a half, so it's more than just an actor coming to a project. What's the difference coming to it as a director?
Films take that long. You know, it's a slow process. The actual shooting of these 8 heady weeks of racing against time, and then before that there's like a couple of months of where every second counts so that you're ready and everybody's prepared for those 8 weeks. What you learn about making a movie, as ever, not that I didn't know it as an actor, is that you're surrounded by experts, and I really needed it on this film because the challenges were, well, I mean, with A Winter Guest, it was Scotland in the winter with daylight from 9 till 3. Yeah. Trying to get a film shot, yeah. And there were no night scenes. This one is, yeah, it's 17th century France. We shot it in England. It's got carriage crashes. It's got 80 extras. It's got all of the stuff you kind of expect to see in I suppose, a period movie set at the court of Louis XIV. But in actual fact, apart from the fact that anybody who's hot on history will be appalled because it's historically deliberately inaccurate, it's a very simple love story, really. It's
a very varied career you've had, but in particular, a lot of our audience will know you as Snape from Harry Potter. Is it, maybe not resent's maybe too strong a word, but do you regret sometimes that a role like that, however good it is, maybe overshadows the other work that you've done?
Well, I'm not so sure that that's even true. You know, all sorts of people have the pieces of work of mine and other people's that they like, and it's not that that's the only thing I hear about. Most of the time I spend my life just wandering around being me, not being you know, some amalgam of characters I've played at all. You
have been quoted as saying that you're quite involved in the creation of the wardrobe for Snape, and I was particularly interested, you said something about the length of a cuff can make a difference to an actor. How so?
Well, in that case it did, because I think we were finding a costume that didn't really belong to any particular period, and I think it wasn't just the cuff, it was a kind of cumulative thing. It was about the height of the collar, and it was about the number of buttons, and so you know, added to the fact that I was wearing black contact lenses. There's something about him that's very closed up, and so it's a bit like, you know, if you were in a Victorian thing, somebody might put on sawn-off mittens, and it makes themselves feel very different than if you're wearing a thing that has, you know, no fingers in it, if you see what I mean.
It has been said, I don't know whether this is accurate or not, that Snape was, some of the appearance of Snape was inspired by Charlene Spiteri of the Scottish group Texas. I don't know if that's true or not, but you have been in a video with Texas just recently, and you had done one previously. How did that come about?
Yes, the Snape has nothing to do with Charlene.
Glad you cleared that up.
She would be appalled. I think she spends far more on her haircut for a start. How did it come about? Well, I did two, yeah. One was in demand, and she just rang up and said, will you dance a tango with me in a petrol station? Oh, all right. And then it's just been the 25th anniversary of Texas, and so she, you know, she gets what she wants. She rang up and she said, will you come and do this sort of duet? Fortunately, I wouldn't dare sing with her, but speaking.
You're here for the Glasgow Film Festival, and obviously a little chaos. There's much talk in Scotland just now about having your own film studio here. Now, as somebody who's involved in film, and has been for so long, how important do you think it is to have a film studio so close to perhaps where some of the other production goes on? For example, we've got the scenery. A lot of people use the Scottish scenery, but then they've nowhere else to go.
Well, I think, you know, it's obvious, really. It's all down to economics these days. And if a small film doesn't have to travel to a studio, and if there's a supportive setup in the Scottish film industry where sets can be built, and you haven't got to travel, you know, 1,000 miles, and it's not just the getting into a studio, you know, you've got those airfares with a crew.
And finally, what's next for Alan Rickman after acting, directing, as you've just done? What's the next project?
Well, there's a movie I've made called Eye in the Sky, which couldn't be more different. It's about the moral dilemma faced by governments in the use of drones against terrorism. I didn't know that, you know, they can now make them the size of a beetle, and it'll fly in a window and sit up on a skirting board and can watch us talking, and we will think it's a beetle up there, not a camera.
Fascinating.
So, yeah, but there are, of course, when governments start using those for very serious matters, it's subject for discussion.
Alan Rickman, thanks for joining us in Scotland.
Pleasure.
Thank you.